Okay, so I'm still working in my house, but I've taken a little bit of time. As you can see, I just put that that range hood vent up, and I'm in the process of boxing that all in because, to be quite honest with you, my hood covers, there's two of them. I couldn't get a third one, and I looked, and it looked retarded if I had to put a third one up. So I'm just decided to go ahead and box that and bring it down and do what I'm doing. But anyways, I took a break and I was watching my computer, looking at my computer. Let's set you up here, maybe this will look a little better. But I was looking on a computer about the debate last night, and I had to watch the introduction twice because I thought, God, that's really weird. Why did Ben Carson just stop? Instead of going on out like he was supposed to. I thought maybe, I can't say that he was confused, but I know that there was something wrong. And when I watched it the second time, I realized that the man could not hear his name being called. Now, immediately after he didn't go out, he took a step back, like, okay, and then they announced Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz comes out, and I was like, gives this awkward look, just the same thing that Jeb Bush did, and walked right past him. And, of course, the moderators or mediators, they just kept right on going. But when Donald Trump comes out, he stops, he stands next to him, and he said something to him. Now, I'm not sure what he said, but it doesn't matter. But he stopped and he stood there, and with his opponent. I mean, we're talking an opponent. And for a while, Ben Carson was a front runner. I mean, the number one, number two was, or number two was Donald, and number one was Ben Carson, and, and whatever. But there's no animosity. I mean, this is just a competition. This is just like going to a baseball game and playing a game, and at the end you shake your hands, and the winner's the winner, the loser's the loser, and that's the way it should be. They just go. Well, Donald Trump, you can say what you want about him. I don't love the guy. I love the way he talks. He is, you know what? You're an idiot, or you just don't know what you're talking about. And yes, sometimes Donald Trump gets in a little over his head, and he says things, his mouth runs a little faster, but he's not scripted. If you watch the current joke that's in office, he's always doing this, but he's always got his eyes on the teleprompter because he's being fed a speech. You won't see that with Donald Trump. He says it, he means it. I believe he will carry through with what he says. But taken away from, going back to Ben Carson sitting in the, standing there like, waiting for his name to be called because he did not hear his name to be called. So when they did finally realize that Ben Carson hadn't showed up, the mediators, they said, oh, and Dr. Ben Carson, and he came out. And Donald Trump, they said Dr. Ben Carson and Donald Trump. Well, Donald stood back. He stayed there. And he waited. And then they're like, and finally, Mr. Donald Trump. And Donald went out. After the applause was done, he was introduced properly, but he waited there for his opponent to be properly introduced. Yes, there was a screw-up. Yes, Ben Carson didn't hear it. But Donald, being the bigger man than anybody else up on that stage, he waited for his opponent to be properly introduced, take the stand, and then he was introduced. And, of course, lastly, but not least, the new, I believe the Ohio senator, I can't remember his name, but it doesn't really matter because he doesn't have a chance anyway. So I'm sure you Democrats that watch this thing are going to be like, oh, Ben Carson's a dumbass, and Donald Trump's just a scumbag moron, and all this stuff. But if you just take the man's actions and what he did last night, and how he did it, and why he did it, he didn't do it for acknowledgement, not that I could see. He, not like, oh, well, Donald Trump did this for a common goal. No, that wasn't running through his head. I mean, I'm sure Donald can think really fast, but I highly doubt that he thought about it in that way. I think he just wanted, he realized that Ben Carson had screwed up, and instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to walk right past Ben Carson because he's a dumbass, no, I'm going to wait here until Ben Carson is formally announced, and then I will take the stage. Good job, Donald Trump. And then, of course, I watched a couple of clips from the debate. Yeah, Donald was under a lot of attack last night. And he was right. He called them out. He said, the people that are in the audience are the people that are paying for the other candidates that are up there. It's just the cold hard fact of it. They were. That's what they were. And the minute that Donald said that, boo, boo, boo. Of course they're booing him, because Donald cannot be bought. He can't be. He's not on the payroll of these people. There's no lobbyist that can touch him. He doesn't have to do political favors. He can do, if he does what he says he's going to do, and that is what's right for the United States, then he is the best candidate up there. He is not bought by anybody with a special interest. You know, he is going to run the country to the letter of the law, the way it should be done. I believe that. So, Ted Cruz shouldn't even be up there. He's a Canadian. Congress needs to step in and say, hey, you know what, buddy, you just ought to stop wasting money, because you can't be legally a president. And they should have did that with Barack Obama too, but they didn't. So I'm hoping that Trey Gowdy, like my Senate hero, he goes ahead and gets that taken care of for us. Thanks for watching. I know I'm going to get some negativity, but too damn bad. Have a nice day.